Hello guys, I'm back. My name is Jeferson Costa. I'm a chemical process engineer with expertise in plant design, and today let's talk about Aspen Hysys certification. Today I will share with you some points and clarifications about everything that you would like to know about the certification. I just did the certification yesterday, so it's fresh in my mind, and I write some topics I will share with you in order that I don't lose too many information. The topic today is the objective today is to talk about the Aspen Hysys certification. But if you have other questions, you can share with me in the chat in order that I will verify time to time. And in the end, I will be here with you in some minutes to clarify all the questions that I have the answer, okay? I don't have all the answers about chemical process engineering plant design, but those that I have, I share with you. And before I start, and I hope that you understand, let me now here. I like to know where are you from, for sure. I am a chemical process engineer, a Brazilian chemical process engineer, and it is always rewarding for me to know where are you from. I have a lot of people from India, from the East Asia, and of course that's South America and Europe. And every time that I see the countries where are you from, it's very, very nice to me. And some attentions or some observation, the registration for my free webinar that will happen that will start on Monday now, May 3rd, is still open, so you can go to my website jefersoncosta.com and register for free. It is 100% online and 100% free, and you will find what the chemical process engineers must know to work with plant design. Not only that, if you don't know yet my social media, you can go to my website and you will find the links for my YouTube, Telegram, LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram, and etc. Okay, so that said, let's start with the content. And to this live session, what I want to share with you is this topic here. If I miss anything, please let the questions, share your questions with me, okay? Here. My webcam is at this side. At my right side, I have the chat, so eventually I will be looking for this direction to see your questions, okay? So let me see here. We start. Let me see here. I have seen people from Algeria. Vashu Patel should be from India. Okay. So what is Aspen Hysys user certification? Aspen Tech is the owner of a series or a set of products, and they are softwares that help professionals and companies to perform better in these fields, in their fields of application. So the Aspen Hysys is one of these tools. It is a process simulation software, and they decided to create a certification to prove or to certificate that someone is able to use the tool. So in general, in few words, it is what is the Aspen Hysys user certification. The Aspen Hysys user certification, there are two levels. Currently, there are two levels. The Aspen Hysys user certification is the entry level and covers some aspects related to how to use from the fluid package up to the reports, and we'll talk a little bit about that during this presentation. And there is a second level that is the Aspen Hysys expert certification or user expert certification. Is the Aspen Hysys and Aspen Hysys expert. So there are two levels. Although in the website doesn't have this kind of information, to do the expert certification, you should have the user certification, okay? And they are different. It is something that I would like to talk with you to not forget about that. Let me list it here, okay? Okay, so let me be great. Sorry. The yeah. So what before I proceed, sorry guys, I am not a teacher, okay? I'm learning how to teach to you in a structured way. So what we'll cover here today, and it should be my first information for you. What is HIC certification? Let's verify the how to resist to the certification, if it's free or not. What are the kind of materials that you should consider using to do the certification? What are the certification process? Many people asked me. I did the certification, I didn't receive it, the confirmation, etc. So I will talk about that. How is the exam in itself? And if you if I recommend you to do courses or not, and we will see the differences between the user certification and the expert certification. And I have some information. I have seen that there are some in-process booster members in the live session, and I have some information to share with them. So this is our agenda. I believe that around 30 minutes we can cover that and answer questions, and in the end everyone will get benefits from this live session. So let me be now bigger. So about the what is HIC certification, I already talked a little bit about that. Very nice question. What are the benefits of having the certification? So now that we know what is the Aspen Hysys certification, let's talk about the benefits. What are the benefits? Benefits, okay. In my point of view, and it is my point of view, okay, there is no direct benefits of having the certification. Why not? Because what the certification gives to you is telling to people that you are you know the tool, and you are able to use the tool at least in an entry level. And that not necessarily means that you have the understandings of the chemical engineering fundamentals, or talking about chemical process engineering plant design. That is the main objective of, and it is my main goal here in my YouTube channel. It doesn't certify you that you are skilled on that. So it doesn't give you a certification that you are skilled in the chemical process engineering fundamentals, nor in plant design. But if you are applying to a job application, if you are applying to a job, and there are many, and one of the requirements to the job, it is very, very common that for plant design you have some kind of requirements about process simulation, and you will see more about that, or you can see more about that in the workshop that it will be available in the next week. If you have a lot of candidates, and one of the requirements is the Aspen Hysys knowledge. If you have 10 candidates, and most of them has the user certification, to save time, much probably, of course, that there are many others requirements, and the recruiter is supposed to evaluate that. But if you have two equals candidates, potential candidates, and one have the Aspen certification and the other one don't have, much probably you will be in disadvantage, because if these guys already have the certification, probably he is more familiar with the tool. Okay, so it short the time decision of the recruiter, and that is my point of view. So the benefits of having the Aspen Hysys certification is that you will not be it's not a matter of being better than the others, but in my point of view, it's to be equal to the your concurrent. I'm not sure if the concurrent is a English word. Concorrentes in Portuguese. With people that is looking to be equal with the people that is looking for the same job that you are. Okay, so this is the benefits that I see from this certification. Hello, Sandino. Happy to have you here. Is the certification has its own expiration? Yes, the certification is 3 years certification. So after that time, you need to renew your certification. You need to do. I'm not sure if you need to do another exam, because there is no description about that in the Aspen Tech website. I haven't seen that. But this is 3-year certification validation. Okay, I think that it's you have the validation in your certification. Okay, so let's proceed with the what is the link to register, or if it's free. So the link to register, now I will share my screen with you. Now, let me be a little bit smaller again. So you can register to the Aspen Hysys at the Aspen Tech website. I will, for you that are here with me today, I will give you the link. I will give you the link in the end of this live session. I will let it available to you in order that you don't need to type that, but be here with me. So in the esupport.aspentech.com/certification_overview, you will find all the certifications that are available from Aspen Tech. So here. So you have Aspen Capital, Aspen DMC, a lot of things. You have Aspen Hysys, Aspen Plus also, and what matters for us is the Aspen Hysys. So you can see that there are a set of certification that is available to the user. And recently they let available the Aspen Shell and Tube Exchange, or EDR, available for certification also. So you to do the registration, you choose what are the certification that you want to, and you click in Explore Certification. Let me just open in a... Okay. So here you will have the general information or overview about what the certification is, and you can see, I will not read that, okay? So what matters for us is that you have the Aspen Hysys entry level and the Aspen Hysys expert exam. So if we click in more info and exam registration, and about the Sandino question, you can see here that expiration or validation of this certification is 3 years. And there are the rules to pass the exam. We'll talk more about that in some minutes. And you will find a calendar related to registration. So the calendar covers all the world. So you have calendar for English, sorry, Spanish language. You have calendar for English language. I have seen for Chinese, Korean. So based on that, you choose the best time zone for you. Uh, I live in Brazil. I live in India. Should must I apply to? I don't. It doesn't have a specific for India. But let's talk about Mexico. I live in Mexico. I must apply, or I am obligated to apply to Mexico. No, you can apply to any open time zone. So you can. I live in Brazil. I can apply to United Kingdom, or I can apply to Mexico. I can apply to China or Korea, Singapore. Not problem. You are free to choose what time zone you want to apply. There's some things that you must be aware of is the time zone differences and the 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 exam usually starts at 8:30 to 9 a.m. So you will see here that it is during the morning in many cases or during the afternoon. So if you are not in the same time zone, you should verify if it will conflict with your studying or if with your job, if you have one, to not have problems about that. Uh, Another thing is related to the communication. The Aspen Hysys user certification is in English. The last one I applied to, I think it was Latin time zone, and you had the option to do the exam in Spanish, if I am not wrong. Of course, I did in English, although for Portuguese people is easy to understand the Spanish. But if you apply to China, I'm not so sure if it will be in English. Okay, so just to be aware of that. And based on it is important to understand also that it is done by the internet. So if you choose a location that the it's supposed to be how can I say that, if you live in Mexico and you do the exam in Mexico, the connection between you and Aspen Tech should be better than if you live in Mexico and you are doing the exam in United Kingdom. Okay, but if your internet connection is okay, it's not a problem. So let me see here my reminder. Okay, and so to apply to it, you just need to choose one. You cannot apply to multiple dates, so you must choose one. Let's say click here, and you can see that the regularly the user certification is not for free. It is $150 to do the registration and to do the certification. Okay, but since to 2020, the Aspen Tech has shared a 100% coupon to people do this exam for free. The last information about free coupon was in the March bulletin. I am registered at the Aspen Tech e-bulletin, so every month they send me a bulletin about the news and etc. And they share the information about the Aspen user certification. And they use the free ACU to give you the discount. I didn't receive the April bulletin yet to confirm if this coupon is still valid. Okay, I am not able to inform that, but let's verify here. It's not. The discount is still valid. So you can use the free ACU coupon today to do the registration. Okay, once you do that, if you make sure that you choose the best date for you, because once you register to one schedule, you are not able to change that. You will need to do on that day, on that time. So that is my advice to you. And in terms of, let me return here. Let me see if you have questions. Okay, any question? So in terms of materials, let's talk now about the materials. What kind of materials are available to you to do when you, let me return here. Okay. In the site where do you have the option to see the calendar, there is this session here, exam preparation. So what is it? You have the study guide, and when you are doing an exam, to pass the exam, you should know what are the content that you will face. So to know that, you can get the review exam topics. So I will open in another. I will open to you, okay? So let's take a look together. So this is the official material that Aspen Tech recommends you to use. And what you find here, you will find some information related to the exam, and you will have the weights for the exam also, some general instruction, and what matters here in this topic is the topics. What kind of topics that you face? So the Aspen user certification covers the properties environments, explore the simulation environment. So what you should know about component list, physical property package, petroleum assays, unit sets, manipulate flow sheet, and mathematical logical operations, separation operations, heat transfer operations, piping operations, columns, rotating equipment, stream analysis, equipment design, case study, reporting, common reporting options, Hysys workbook, report manager, correlation manager, data tables, and this is it. No, there are more. Common errors and general. How to use the help menu. So if you are familiar with the Aspen Hysys, you have seen almost all of these in your career. There are some content here that is very specific. For instance, talking about the petroleum assay. If you don't work with petroleum or in a refinery, probably you have never used this. When in my time in a separation process company, a separation unit company, I never used the petroleum side because it was not part of my job. But the rotating, separation, columns, and etc., if you are a chemical process engineer working with plant design, or if you are interested in working with plant design, you must be familiar with that. So there are some specific issues here that you should study deeper to get familiar. And of course, that some of the content here, I am an experienced engineer. I have more than 10 years of experience, but I never needed to use. For instance, here, there are here, correlation manager. I never used this in my career. I never needed to use this in my career, report manager, but it exists in the tool, so the Aspen Hysys do some questions related to that, okay? So about the materials, it is the official material that you should consider. I will download this, or I will upload this in my Telegram channel in process. If you want to join the Telegram channel in process, you will be able to download this PDF. But as I told you, it is available for free in the Aspen Tech website. Okay, so it's your decision. And if you go to the Aspen Tech website, there are some others recommendation. Here you can see certification guidelines. Let's see what is it. Another PDF. Okay, this is about the connections, what you must do, register, how to proceed, and we'll talk about that in some other topics here. So this covers the materials and the certification process. Now let's talk about the certification process. Let me see here. Okay. Guys, I don't talk about the Aspen Hysys software download in my live sessions, okay? How to prepare for the multiple choices questions and the practical laboratory-based problems. Okay, Safida, let's talk about that. Is the equipment design and rating tools included in Aspen Hysys like EDR and columns and pipe hydraulic analysis are often used by the process Hysys process design professional? Yes, they are. The science, and if you want to know more, if you follow my YouTube channel, you will see that there are many videos related to that, and you can be familiar with these topics and what the chemical process engineers does in job. Okay. So how is the certification process? Let's return to the website. Many people asked me or talks to me about they did the registration, but they didn't receive the confirmation. In fact, when you click in the registration button, you will go to a confirmation page. So what I recommend you to do is, let's return here. Just to show you one thing. You can see that there are some cookies in the Aspen Tech that identifies if I try to do registration in another time zone. I am in process of registration for United Kingdom, if I'm not wrong, and I try to register to Spanish. They gives me a warning telling me that it's not possible to do that. So what I can do, I need to go to the chart, and I can remove this and look for another time zone. Let's okay. Yeah, let's Spanish. Okay, so you go to Aspen Tech website, you add your free coupon here. Let's see if it's still working. So it's working. When you click on checkout, you will go. You need to fill some information there, and once you fill this information, you click on finish registration, something like that, and you will be addressed to a confirmation page. you will not receive automatic confirmation about your registration. So what I recommend you to do, take a print of the registration page, because there it will give you ID number. You'll be a TR and a number, and save that. And with the time that you need to do the exam, you can verify with the Aspen Tech. You can email them and verify if your registration is okay. By my experience, if the registration is okay, you will not receive any email in the following days. If your registration there is some kind of issue, they will send you an email explain you why you cannot register for that exam. For instance, I applied to expert before doing the user certification. So I received an email telling me that my registration was not confirmed because I needed to do first the user certification. There is another time that I did multiple registration for different time zone, and I was informed that the system already verified that I had another exam scheduled, so that application was not confirmed, was canceled. So there is a person, a real person behind the Aspen Tech registration. So that's why it takes some time to have some answer or a reply, but they but you will receive that. But what happens when you are near to the exam date? I did my exam was on Friday here now, and I think that was on Monday or 2-3 years before the date for do the exam. They will send you an email with some oh, it was just here. With a guide or what you need to do or what you need to verify to be ready for the exam. You will receive an invitation link, and you will click on that to confirm that you received the invitation link and confirm your participation. So it is in a EBEX Webex environment. Webex is very similar to Zoom, similar to Microsoft Teams, but it is from Cisco, and it is free to download and install. So it is I think you don't need to install. You just need to have the plugin to access the Webex. And during the exam, you must have your camera on all the time. You are they start the room around 30 minutes before the exam starts by itself. So if it's scheduled to 9 a.m., 8:30 they will open the room to the exam, and these 30 minutes is to give you some clarification. And one of them is that your webcam must be open all the time. You can left to get a coffee, you can left to go to the bathroom, that's not problem about that, but your camera must be on all the time. So that is one of the rules. Your microphone must be kept inactivated or in silence to not disturb anyone during the exam. And you will receive another link to the Aspen Tech environment, virtual environment. So you receive a first email to confirm your participation. So and you receive in the same email. I'm not sure if it's the same email. Just a moment. Let me verify here my email to share with you. But So you receive at least 2 emails. One email for confirmation to you confirm the participation in the exam, and another mail to remind you about the exam. Okay, and with that you will receive the links. With the emails you will receive the links to participate in the exam. Okay. Okay, I have the email here. Let me share with you. So it is how the email looks like. So you will find this is your confirmation email, information related to the time, the location, recommendation that you should have related to the WebEx, Cloud Share, that is with the virtual lab, and etc. So you will receive that with no problem related to participate in the exam. And talk about the preparations. Let's talk a little bit about the preparations. If you are, just a moment, let me see my notes here. Okay, how is the exam? About talking the preparation, let's talk about how is the exam. The exam is a virtual based exam. You don't need to have the Aspen Hysys installed in your machine, because you will use the Aspen Tech Hysys virtually. In the Cloud Share link, you will access account with your email and with one password that they will share with you. And in this environment, you will open Windows-based, virtual Windows-based computer, and there you will have the Aspen Hysys 9, 10, and 11 available to you. And they recommend you to use the Aspen Hysys V11. And we already have the V12 available in the markets, but in terms of exam, they recommend you to use the V11. The V12 it's not available in this virtual environment. And with that, for talking about user certification, you have two kinds of questions. You have conceptual questions related to the content that I have shared with you here, and you have questions related to a case study. And they will give you it is, let me see here. You have 66 questions to answer, but it starts with the first question is your personal information, to you confirm a name, company, email, personal email, to share your certification in LinkedIn, and etc. And you will start with the first conceptual question in the question 7. Usually is this for user certification. So from question 7 up to question 48, if I am not wrong, you will have conceptual questions. And how looks like the conceptual questions? You can find that in the study guide. So here you have the kind of question that you will find there. So for instance here, sample questions. User can set up simulation use components from, so you need to know Aspen Hysys Data Bank, Aspen Property, Contermo, either A and B. So this is the kind of questions related to conceptual. They will give you a statement, and based on the statement, you need to choose the best option that answer that. And another thing about materials. Now, during the exam itself, what kind of materials can you use to solve the exam problem? I'm not showing my screen. Sorry. Just a moment. Okay, here. Let me. I talked about the email, but I was not showing my screen. Great. Sorry, guys. Let me pick this again. So here it's how looks like the email. I have talked already, so I will not talk again. So you receive the email and information about the exam, the links, and etc. Okay, so if everything is okay, you will receive this kind of mail to do your exam. And how looks like the questions, the conceptual questions of your exam. You find some samples in the Hysys study guide. So here, user can set up simulation, use components from. So Hysys Data Bank, Aspen Property, Contermo, either A and B. So if you are familiar with the software, in many cases you will know the answer. But if you don't know the answer, what are the source, or what are the materials that you can use to solve the problems? The first one is the helper of the Aspen Hysys, for sure. Use that during the exam. Once you enter the components and enter the fluid package and enter the simulation, if you click on F1, you will open the helper of the Aspen Hysys. And many of the questions, the conceptual questions, eventually you will use that, because there are some questions that is very, very specific, and although you know how to use the simulation software, you are not you don't worry about what are the data banks that is available for Aspen Hysys. I always use the Aspen or the Hysys data bank, so I not worry about the Aspen Property, Contermo. So if some questions about Contermo happens or is available in the exam, what I need to do, I go to helper, and in the search bar, in the helper of the Aspen Hysys, there is a search bar. I copy Contermo, paste there, and see what are the information available. So there are some questions that is possible to answer in this way. Are you able to answer all the questions this way? Probably yes, but don't rely on that. Why? Because you have many questions. As I told you, you have 66 questions to answer. And if you don't know anything about Aspen Hysys, you are not familiar with Aspen Hysys, in 4 hours, you will not be able to answer all the questions using the helper. So the helper will help you to clarify specific points or specific subjects that you are not too much familiar, but if you do a search, you already know the software, they will help you to solve the the exam, okay? Another thing that they inform is that you can use any material or any material that was developed by the Aspen Tech. So if you already have a course from Aspen Tech and they recommend some courses here, let me see here. Oh, sorry. So, for instance, they have here new online offerings. So, if you process modeling using Aspen Hysys, let's click on that. So, if you already did this course, you can use the material that is available from this course to help you during the exam. So, probably you will receive some kind of PDFs and etc. So you can use that to help you. The issue about that is that the Aspen Tech courses is not cheap for most people. It is here. You can see that it is $810 US. So it's not everyone that are able to pay this amount of money. But if you do this, you get include the certification exam. So it's up to you. If you have this money to expend, no problem. So this leads to another topic of this live session. Do I need to do courses to pass the Aspen Hysys user certification? And I will be very, very sincere with you here now, right now. You don't need to pay courses to do or to pass the Aspen Hysys user certification. However, if you have some kind of mentoring, of course, that it will short the time to understand and to pass the exam. What I mean by that? The user certification is to certificate people that is already familiar with the Aspen Hysys. Is not to certificate people that is starting from scratch. That's not the intention. But if you are start from scratch, you have someone or a course to guide you, you will develop faster than looking for YouTube videos or looking for PDF materials, because usually they don't have a structure to teach you about the Aspen Hysys. But if you are experienced, if you use the Aspen Hysys a lot, that is not an issue. You'll find, even though you don't pass in the first exam, you can repeat that after 1 month. And if you don't pass again, you can repeat that after 6 months. Eventually, there will be a time that will be familiar and you pass the exam. But of course, if you have someone to guide you, like in this live session, I think that you can clarify a lot of things here. It will short your time to pass the exam, okay? But if you don't know anything about the Aspen Hysys, first learn learn how to use the software, and after that it will be easier to you to pass the exam. Okay, so this is the main message here. And before I start, you have the conceptual part of the exam. So we have seen that you can use the helper to help you in the conceptual part, and you can use other materials from Aspen Tech also. It's not a sheet. You can use that. It's part of the rules. And you have different from the expert certification. In the Aspen user, they will give you a process flow diagram a print from Aspen Hysys process simulation, and they will ask you to build that process simulation during your exam. However, you don't send your process simulation to them, but to answer the questions related to the lab parts, they name this way, you will need to know how to how to configure a stream, how to add a pump, how to add a heat exchanger, how to add a column, how to configure a column. So this is part of the exam. You will open the Aspen Hysys V11 in the virtual environment, and they will give you information related to the streams, to the process conditions, and based on the process simulation that is available to you, you will build that in the software, and you will have another set of questions related to the lab. So based on the process simulation, what is the power requirement for the pumps, what is the power requirements for the compressor, what is the energy needed in the condenser of the column, what is the energy needed for the reboiler of the column. So it is this kind of questions that you will face. They have more values than the conceptual questions. The conceptual part is 1 point to each one, and these lab questions is 4 points for each one. And all of this is written and explained in the user guide. Okay. Let me be here. So, and what are the differences between the user certification and the expert certification? Related to the conceptual part is the content. The content of the expert certification is focused on gas processing, and the user certification is related more about the general use of the Aspen Hysys. So you need to know from the how to add a stream up to how to use the report. And there are questions related to the equipment, as you have seen in the content that is available in the free material, in the user guide. In the expert certification, you have conceptual questions related to how to use the Aspen Hysys for sweetening, for gas dehydration. So you also have a user guide to know the content, and I talk about it in another video, so I will not get deeper on that. You will be able to find in my YouTube channel if you want to know more about the expert certification. And another differences is that in the user certification, you already receive the process simulation done. You are not needed to build a simulation from the scratch. What you need to do is do some adjustment in order to get the results and answer the questions. You need to do evaluation of existing process. In the user certification, you will build a simulation from the scratch, and based on that, you will answer the questions that is answered, addressed to you. Okay, let me see if we have more questions here. How to prepare for the multiple choices questions. Okay. During the exam, is it better to start with lab questions or with multiple choice questions? What I'm allowed to use as reference as PDF files during the exam. So my strategy for doing the exam science is I start from the question 1, and if for every question that I didn't know the answer or I was not sure about the answer, I not I give up, but I didn't answer anything and I went to the other one. So first I answered every in the sequence every questions that I know, and it is the conceptual design, the conceptual part of the exam, until I reached the lab part of the exam. So I did the process simulation and answered all the questions. And once I finished the lab, of course, that I did. When you reach the last question, you have the button to send your exam. Don't do that. I return it to review the questions that I didn't know the answer for the first site. I think this way is more productive than expending too much time to find the answer in the helper. And you have 4 hours to do the exam, and if you reach the 4 hours, the instructor is tell you that if you lose this time, you will not be able to send your answers. So I prefer to do this way, okay, because you have more points in the lab part, and uh, if so you can return, depends how much time you expend to do this first review of the all the questions. So you can return and look for in the helper, verify or try a guess. And I don't try a guess at the first time. I left the options blank, and in the revision, if I know the answer, okay, I choose the answer. If I don't know the answer, I do a guess and verify in the end if it was okay or not. So that's why how I recommend you to proceed. And what I am allowed to use as reference as PDF files. So I told you officially you are allowed to use the Aspen Tech materials. If you did any kind of Aspen Tech course, official course, you are allowed to use that. Or you are allowed to use the PDF, the helper inside the Aspen Hysys. So these are the materials that you can use. But it's up to you use other materials, okay? They are not monitoring your computer. So it's how can I say this? It's your conscience that will tell you what kind of material you can use. In the end, is it. But the rule is you can use the helper and you can use the Aspen Tech official material. Okay, guys, more questions or not? So to finish this live session, we are more than 1 hour talking. We had some issues in the beginning. A message that I have to In-Process Booster members is that based on all of this, I will prepare to you, not today, but in the following days, you will have available in the platform simulation about the Aspen Hysys exam. Okay, so this is my way to support you for being the members of my training program. I will let available there simulation related to Aspen exam, and I'm thinking about also to do a Zoom section with Aspen with In-Process Booster members in order to clarify more specific issues that you had. So guys, this is it. I hope you like this live session. If you have questions, just let me know because it's time to go. I need to do a travel. Okay. And sorry for the issues at the beginning of this live session, okay? As promised, I will share with you the link to Aspen Tech exam, and I will let available the two guides that is available here from Aspen Tech. In my Telegram channel. Let me share this right now. Okay, this is it. I hope you like it. You still have time to subscribe to my free workshop that will happen the next week. And I have a lot of things to share with you during these 3 days masterclass. I will let also available the link for my website. So guys, thanks a lot for being with me up to this point, for your patience with me, and I see you soon in the next live session. Bye bye.